Scooby, Dooby Doo, where are you? When the world ended. That's right, when we last left off, the world had ended and real monsters had attacked the Scooby gang. It was pretty epic, but we just discovered Scrappy Dappy Doo, not exactly a little short guy he's probably still annoying, but he's not tiny. Anyway, I really can't recap very much more of the storyline. It turns out that the world has been taken over by monsters caused by a technology created by Velma. And then the entire team came together to battle against it. It's been a truly epic storyline, and you guys have been enjoying it. Check out the playlist down below if this is your first Scooby-Doo episode. But we're now going to continue the story. In our last video, we watched as Scooby and the gang escaped from Dinkley Towers while rescuing a woman named Daisy, who is Rufus's now widowed wife. While following the trail of seemingly docile monsters, Scooby was separated from everyone by members of Scrappy-Doo's pack, allowing him to corner Velma. Just as Scrappy swore that he would kill Velma for what she's done to him back in the labs, everyone is surrounded by a swarm of monsters, leaving them no choice but to work together. With Scrappy's pack snarling at Scooby and backing him into a corner, the canines all begin to hear the voice of Cliffy yelling for them to wait. He tells the pack that Scrappy said that they all came from the same complex, right? That means they're family, and family don't turn on each other. And just as he says that, gunfire can be heard in the distance as Scrappy calls back to everyone, telling them that he could use some help over here. The dogs quickly spin around and run towards Scrappy's voice, and Cliffy tells them, "Wait, don't leave me alone here." Up ahead, as Daphne, Velma, and Scrappy fight off the monster horde, Daphne begins asking, how the hell did this happen? As Scrappy rips the head off of a monster, he tells her, a little less yakking and more killing would be nice, unless you want to end up as the main course for a monster buffet. As Velma struggles to break free, she says that's the thing. These monsters are not trying to kill them. If they wanted, they'd already be dead. They're trying to capture them. Just then, Scrappy's pack charges through, locking their jaws onto anything that has a hold of the three, tearing off limbs as they go. As Velma is thrown to the ground, Scrappy picks her back up, telling her, now it's time for me to get what I've come here for. He tosses her away from everything, and before he can jump down to strike, Daphne hits him with the butt of her gun, stating, you're not going to take us anywhere. She then calls out to Scooby, and Scrappy asks, what? You think that pathetic loser's gonna save you? Scooby jumps onto the monster, pinning Daphne, and rips its arm off, telling Daphne to run. Scrappy growls, telling him, oh no, nobody is killing Scooby-Doo other than me. Back with Velma, she begins looking for her glasses when she hears a young boy ask if she's okay. Cliffy picks up the glasses, handing them to Velma, and as she puts them on, she says, oh, you're the little boy who was with Scrappy-Doo when he first confronted us. What are you doing as Scrappy in a pack of bloodthirsty animals anyway? Cliffy tells her that the pack isn't so bad. It's Scrappy, he's his best friend. Before Velma could ask any more questions, Daphne and Scoob speed by and Daphne yells, run! The two quickly fall behind, and seconds later the entire group flies out of the bushes back towards Shaggy and the others. Everyone checks in each other to make sure that they're okay, and Daphne notices Cliffy sitting there, crying. She asks what's his deal, and Velma tells her that she suspects that he might be crying because he's worried about Scrappy-Doo. Back where the original fight took place, Scrappy sits up in the tree watching the monster, and he sees them all marching over the remains of his pack. Scrappy thinks, sure, my boys were a bunch of idiots, but they were my idiots, my responsibility, and I let them down. Looks like I'm gonna have to follow these beasties to get my vengeance, and then come back for the others. Over at the camp, Shaggy says, wait, that was Scrappy? From the complex? Sure, he gave Scoob a lot of trouble, but there's no way that he could have evolved into that. Fred asks, what exactly do you suppose we do now? We barely survived, and now we have this poor kid with us. Velma tells everyone that they need to go back out there and find what's controlling these monsters. If they somehow gain control of whatever it is, maybe they can fix things. Daphne begins to grumble and then shouts, I hate it when you're right. All right, people, we're going back to the front lines. Back with Scrappy, he sneaks alongside the monsters, watching them as they all begin to gather around an abandoned home. He heads around the back and climbs a drain pipe, and he looks over the roof and he stares and says, ruh-oh. Down in the yard, all of the monsters that have been gathering are climbing on top of one another, locking themselves together to create a giant humanoid creature. Down in the middle of the massive bodies, a telepathic voice begins to come from the giant's mouth, stating, come, from far and near, from earth and sky. The mouth begins to open, and inside there's a light shining out. And deep within, a small figure with a large pulsing head shouts, be one with us, be one with me. Back up on the roof, Scrappy watches, and he hears a voice in the heart of the thing. Something calling to all of the beasties here, but who is it? And what do they want? While Scrappy tries to come up with a plan, he hears something coming from down below, and he sees Shaggy, Scooby, Velma, and Daphne sneaking their way up. As the four get closer to the horde, Velma says that they need to get up there and figure out what's going on. Suddenly, Scrappy's voice can be heard from behind, and he says that he can tell them what's going on. Everyone spins back and Scrappy goes on telling them that the monsters are joining together to create some kind of mega monster. I'm not gonna be sticking around when that thing's completed, but I ain't leaving here without the doc. And Daphne tells him over her dead body. And Scrappy tells her, that can be arranged. Shaggy says, really? There's a giant monster forming and we want to start a fight now? You ever think like maybe we should be working together or something? Scrappy then says, if that's the case, then I'm going to be needing the doc to look at my implants. A few weeks back, my mind's been getting all cloudy and my body's been reverting. The process is already happening, and at times I kind of phase out. The next thing you know, I'll be running around in circles chasing my tail. All I wanted was to go back to normal, and now with all of this happening, I don't have much choice. Velma shouts that she would help him in a heartbeat if she could, but she needs a laboratory and equipment. She can't exactly just wave her hands and magically, suddenly, there's a loud crunch and the giant creature begins to stand up on its own 2 feet. Shaggy yells, it's time for us to run! And Velma says, we can't yet! We need to understand the force behind the hive mind, harness it for the good of the world! And Scrappy tells her, I already know what it is. It's some kind of frequency that manipulates the beasties. I can actually hear it. And Scooby says, frequency? That's right! Everyone turns back and Shaggy asks, what? You mean that thing's like alive in the center and is calling out all the monsters? And Scrappy says, sure seems like it. The small creature inside of the giant begins to control the legs and begins to walk. And as he takes a step forward, the giant collapses, falling back to the ground. Scooby then asks, what happened? And Velma says that it must have surpassed its stress tolerance. There's no skeletal structure and it collapsed under its own weight. The monster then begins to pull back and the creature inside thinks that she's right. He'll need more support. That Velma has a clever mind. She'll make a fine addition to the Amalgamind. Across the way, Scrappy then tells everyone, it's weak right now. It's a perfect time for us to strike. I can finally get my revenge on that thing for killing my crew. Velma then yells, no! We need the entity on the inside that's controlling the hive mind. Though, figuring that out might be the hard part. Scrappy growls, telling her that while she's figuring that out, he's gonna tear this thing to pieces. And Velma says that he can't go, even in its weakened state. If it attacks, there's a chance it could kill him. Stay with them and she can help him. Scrappy asks, do you really mean that? And Velma says, oh no, the monsters, they're using parts of the house to reinforce it. Shaggy sighs, telling them, can we please run away now, really, really fast? Scrappy then begins to think to himself that if they leave now, that thing could destroy a lot more than that around them. It would be game over for them, and for little Cliffy. Scrappy then begins running around the monsters, telling them they need to go back and see Cliffy and tell him, forget it, I'm pretty sure he already knows. Scooby calls out to Scrappy and then begins chasing after for help. Up ahead, as Scrappy jumps into the crowd, he begins barking at the monsters, and then he thinks, wait, did I just bark? The implants are going out faster than I realized. Scrappy then latches onto the side of the house, and as he looks down, he sees Scooby running and attacking the surrounding monsters. He lets go to help Scooby, and then he asks, why am I doing this? And Scooby shouts, friends! And Scrappy says, right, I got friends back there. And Scooby shouts, what, just them? Rappy's my friend too! Scrappy claws his way through the pack of monsters asking, how could you say that after the way I treated you back there? I resented you because when we went through the program, me and my pack changed, but you're the only one who didn't. The voice from before then tells Scrappy, the other one is everything that you once were, everything that you still want to be. And Scrappy shouts to him, get out of my head! Scrappy looks back at Scooby, telling him, keep on fighting the good fight and don't ever change. As Scrappy begins running up ahead, Scooby tells him, right! And Scrappy then tears his way through the center mass of the monsters. While the monsters rip away at Scrappy, he finds the creature in the center and he tells him, woof. Suddenly there's an explosion of purple light, destroying the house! And the creature's voice shouting, no! And Velma says that it wasn't a physical explosion, more like a psychic wave. She could hear the thing's death scream in her mind. And Shaggy says, no, my little buddy! Scooby was right in the middle of it all! And there you have it, Scooby-Doo! 2 more issues. We're gonna keep doing this because you guys keep liking it, and I hope you are enjoying it. So here we go. More Scooby-Dooby-Doo. Dooby-Dooby-Dooby-Doo. Do. Scooby-Dooby-Doo. Where are you? So I don't know the rest of the words of the song. I know the tune, but try at home right now. I want you to just recite the words to the song. Don't look it up. Don't cheat. Michael, I see you cheating. I see you Googling the words to this. Everyone else, you get an A. Michael, you're flunked out. Go to the principal. I'll see you guys next time right here at Comicstorian.